I'm Global.
Make me, goddammit.
Fucking suck my fucking hairy left nut.
We're three idiots doing this podcast. This is Globaloutcast. That's TheAnimeShogun. Sorry, TheAnimeShogun.
Yeah,
And that
get my
is-
fucking name right.
I don't
Watch
need
your
your
damn language.
I don't need your attitude, young lady. And that
Fuck.
is Lycan. We are everyday nerds, and this is the podcast. Today we will be talking about DC movies and comics. Something that is near and dear to my heart, especially
And
Batman.
how cancerous they are.
Yeah, well, DC's better than Marvel. That's right, I
Well, we're,
said
not
it.
gonna, we're not starting that shit on a fucking podcast.
No, we are not.
I will start it and finish it.
Yeah,
You're
like
gonna
you
lose.
finish in 5 fucking minutes.
Hey, that was one time. That was one time. That was one time with you. All right.
Can we
Wasn't with
focus?
me, thank God.
Can we focus?
No.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Make me, damn it.
All right. First thing is, what is your guys' first DC movie that you remember?
I'll let the anime Shogun go first.
I want to say it's Adam West's Batman. The one with like the shark repellent.
Yep.
Where
I
they
didn't-
had the, the words, blowing up like pow, bam, wham, kabooey.
I've never seen that movie.
You're older than me, and yet I've seen that movie. I think I have that movie somewhere.
That's not what my mom introduced me to. I never really watched that stuff. Never really watched Adam West's Batman.
It wasn't even mine. I don't know how we had it, but we had it, and I watched it because I was bored one day after school.
Yeah. What about you?
I remember
Lycan?
being cringed.
I tried watching bits and pieces of that. That belongs back in the 60s.
As for mine, it'd have to be the Batman Begins, the Christian Bale one with Scarecrow.
Okay.
I remember that one scaring me so damn bad. That's the bad part. It's like it scared me so damn bad. It's like, holy crap.
I liked the first two of his movies because and he even tried to set it in a world where there could be a Batman. It was like a plausible way to be Batman. I did not like the third one.
I get that.
Well, let's
And
not even get me started on the third one.
All right, I'm going to get you started on the third one because that's not Bane in my opinion.
All right, we're gonna open this fucking can of worms.
I am
then, aren't
sorry,
we?
Lycan. I opened this can of worms, but this has to be
God.
This has to be talked about.
oh god.
Keep it to
All right.
45 minutes, damn it.
First off, Bane wasn't even accurately fucking Bane. I don't care. Bane is like is Hispanic or comes from a Spanish background. No Spanish whatsoever. Bane wears a luchador mask. There was no fucking luchador mask. But the biggest problem with Bane, there was no Venom. How can you have Bane and have his weapon being fucking, Venom? And nope, well, let's just make Bane. Like, what? Even the fucking movie with Poison Ivy. I think it might have been Val Kilmer's.
No, that was George Clooney's.
Was that Clooney's? Anyway, that Bane was more fucking accurate. Like, are you fucking with me? No,
not even
no,
accurate
we're
Bane.
closing this fucking can of worms right now. That Bane was not Bane, all right?
No, it wasn't. And it felt like Batman was whining in that one. I didn't like that whiny Batman in the third one. I really didn't. Because in all of comics, in all of like the DC comics, there's one thing Batman is known for, and that is quitting is not in his vocabulary. He has literally his back has literally been broken by Bane. He has literally been through mental hell by the Court of Owls, and still came back. And still, he needs to be Batman. That's his thing. That's his whole thing. It's him. Batman is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is Batman. There is no secret. There is no secret whatever identity. No, it's that's Batman is his true identity. He needs it. And that wasn't Batman in the third one. That was a whiny Batman. Although I did hear the original script for it, they wanted the Joker again, but Heath Ledger sadly passed away. So they had to change the script, from what I heard.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. Sorry, but we interrupted you. Sorry, go on.
That was pretty much it. And to be honest, you two bickering sounds like you two are married.
We've only
You
been
know
married
what?
for 40 years.
Motherfucker, we're not even that old. So shut the fuck up. And two, I wouldn't marry you if you were the last person on this fucking planet.
Joke's on you. I would.
No, that just means you're going to be alone for the rest of your life.
I am not.
Ouch.
I think my first introduction to the DC movie universe would have to be probably the Batman with Michael Keaton. That would have to be my first introduction to the franchise. I can't remember if I was too young to watch the second Batman movie or if it just never stuck to my brain when I was a kid. But I remember bits and pieces of it. But yeah, that was my first introduction.
Probably like when you say you remember bits and pieces of it, you probably were too young to remember like watching it, but you probably did it as a kid.
Yeah.
So.
And our sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying our resident Lycan here hasn't really been much of a DC person, so we tied him down to a chair and forced him to watch a couple DC movies.
Hey, that chair was comfortable. Fuck off.
Taped his eyes open, and soon after
What's
that,
this wee shit?
soon after that, we're gonna make him watch all sorts of ooey gooey romantic animes.
Okay, where the hell did freaking the anime come into this?
I have no idea. I'm just making up words.
And joke's on you, I already watch romance anime, so ha!
This is Everyday Nerds. We talk about everything nerd related. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stick on topic, you fucks.
I'm trying, but he keeps going off topic. Alright, what's the next one?
So, what were the two movies that you watched, and tell us how you felt about them?
Well, to be honest, I actually watched Michael Keaton, Batman, the one you remember from 1989.
Yep.
Was it? Yep, 1989. And
Yep.
to be honest, like that, I think that was a good one, but at the same time, a lot of it looked way too cartoony.
Not as cartoony as Val Kilmer and George Clooney's Batman. That's for sure.
I haven't seen those ones, so
after the whole shtick with Tim Burton, because the second one got way too violent. WB, I believe, it was like, yes, we're gonna make it. And eventually, they're like, yep, nope. They're stalling. They're not liking any of my ideas, so I'm out. And soon after, Michael Keaton was like, I'm out too. So they brought in other guys, and they said they wanted the movies to sell toys. That's the whole reason why they made those two movies, is to sell toys.
interesting. What's your thoughts, episode3?
That, and to add on to what Global was saying, from what I remember saying, especially with like Val Kilmer's, they wanted to make the suit really tight in a certain area, so it would be more appealing, I feel, for the female audiences.
We shall never forget the bat nipples. I know I can't.
The what?
In one of the Batman movies, they gave the Batman suit nipples. Fans have dubbed them the bat nipples.
I think that was Kilmer's, and why do you have to open that can of worms?
Because if I have to suffer, so do you.
How about all of us agree that we just close that damn can of worms and get out of the damn podcast? Otherwise, we're never gonna stay on track. Jesus Christ. Let's see. And then the second one I watched was the 2021 Suicide Squad. And to be honest,
Wait. When you say 2021, I feel like that might confuse people. Are we talking...
James Gunn.
All right, answer me this. Peacemaker or Jared Leto's Joker?
Peacemaker.
Okay, so the newer Suicide Squad. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you now.
The
Yeah.
newer one with John Cena as Peacemaker.
Because I believe The first one came out in 2019, before the pandemic.
19
Yes.
or 20, something like that.
I think it was 19 because I remember watching it with, I think,
It's
the
been
Anime Shogun.
yeah, it's been a few years because I remember watching it, and that's how my brother met his girlfriend.
Huh.
So it's been a few years since that one. So yeah, the 2021 one is newer. What'd you think of that one?
To be honest, too many questions.
Like what?
Well, like, one, Nanu, I'm gonna say his name completely wrong. The shark dude.
King Shark. Funny enough, he's played by Sylvester Stallone.
That was I saw that on the cast and I was like, okay, that makes sense why he's so like bulk up and stuff.
I
And
love how
his
stupid
voice
it
his voice was actually like really stern when I mean like stern, I mean like you could clearly hear it's a buffed up actor, and Sylvester Stallone has always been a good actor
was.
that's always have the muscles and stuff, so that makes sense. But just like how he came to be, that it was not explained, which
I
I
don't really know the whole story of King Shark. Fans who watch this and actually want to comment in the comment section because I like words and stuff. And know about more about King Shark. Tell us his origin story because I'm actually now really curious too because I know in some of them he's kind of smart, other one he's as dumb as the show, dumb as the movie.
I
but
think from his origin story, I think he's like Croc, like Killer Croc.
He could be because but I remember in I remember in the movie, it said he is. It said it's like legend or whatever. He is the son of like a shark god or whatever.
Yeah, he's I was gonna say reincarnation of a god, but yes, in that show, he is like a mutant.
Yeah.
But I think if you go by comic books, I think he was like mutated somehow, kind of like Killer Croc. Yeah, that's something that we'll let the viewers that comment and tell us because we
No,
like to
but-
have intellectual stuff.
then like Peacemaker, okay? I understand that he's all about peace, but the fact that he kills, he doesn't matter how many people he kills, no matter who they are, just to make sure it's peaceful around where he goes, kind of like threw me for a loop. Like, why, if you want peace, you would think you would try to solve everything
Well,
like relaxing, but then
yeah, his shtick is he was raised by a racist father and grew up with those ideals. And I don't know much about the comics, but I do know because they also did a TV show that we're not going to get into about it. But he was raised. He's kind of an idiot.
yeah.
You saw in the movie. By the way, my favorite character in that movie is Polka Dot.
Anybody ever feel that Peacemaker is just the DC version of Punisher?
I can actually see that.
Well, think about it. Peacemaker wants to go around making peace. I feel like it's DC's version of the Punisher.
I
Yeah.
honestly don't see it. I don't know
Hey,
why, but I don't see it.
Punisher goes around and he kills people.
Kills
he punishes
mobsters.
the wicked.
Yeah.
He's a one-man essentially army. You know, we'll go more into his stuff in the Marvel, but basically just to give you that short little comparison. Punisher goes around killing people like Peacemaker does. Punisher goes around punishing the wicked and criminals, essentially like Peacemaker does. That's why I said I feel like, Peacemaker's DC's version of Punisher.
Yeah.
I
Give
can
them different stories, but there you go. Guns, peace. I can see it.
yeah, I can actually really see it.
I don't know why, but I
Um,
can't.
The next one was actually Global's favorite character, Polka Dot. Okay. I understand why he's always hating his mom because look at what she did. because she was a scientist at Star's lab, which actually threw me for a fucking loop. Reason is because last time I heard about Star's lab was in the Flash show.
Yeah.
But like the fact that he basically anytime he gets mad and he sees his mother, he goes completely ape crap. I'm trying not to swear. Sorry.
That's cool.
But he goes completely nuts.
Yeah.
And basically doesn't matter who he is, but he is an all-around guy. The thing that confused the hell out of me is how did she get her hands on an interdimensional virus and implanted it in him? That's my question.
Star Labs has all sorts of shit going on.
Well, that is true.
That they don't talk about it. Like you know more about it in the comics than they're ever able to do in the movies. You know, because Star Labs, you know more about Star Labs and all the shit they do, and before rather than in the comics than you do in the movies. So I think that's something that's more along the line of Polka Dot Man's backstory in the comics that's more fleshed out, I guess.
So those are my main questions. What really brought up about those three people.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say is Bloodsport's fear of rats is very, very valid.
Who was Bloodsport again?
He was
Why do I feel like he was almost like a weird version of like Deadshot?
They wanted Deadshot, but I think they wanted Will Smith back as Deadshot, but I think he was preoccupied with another movie, and so he couldn't do it. And so they brought in Bloodsport, who is pretty much another Deadshot, pretty much.
Yeah, but like basically when his old man basically locked him in a crate for 24 hours, all this with just starving rats, that is understandable why he's so afraid of rats, and that would scare make anyone fear rats.
Yeah.
But let's see. All in all, the movie was actually really good. I enjoyed it. But in my opinion, I like Deadshot. The 2019 with Deadshot Will Smith better. That's just my opinion.
I honestly like this one a lot better. I mean, I think it would have been a lot better if they would have been able to have Will Smith's Deadshot in it too, rather than Bloodsport, or maybe have both of them in there somehow. I don't know how they would do that, but I felt like the 2019 or 2018 one is they try to add DC's main problem in the DCEU. They try to add too much too soon, and they don't try to flesh it out by single movies that can stand alone if need to stand alone.
Okay.
Everything has to be connected, and this has to be connected with this, and it just becomes a whole convoluted mess that you lose your people. Like, you lose your audience way too fast. I mean, look at Zack Snyder's franchise. Decent movies, yes. But I think the only one that stands out as really good is Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Everything
else...
About you? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
TheAnimeShogun.
I was just about to ask, what are your opinions, TheAnimeShogun?
I don't know. I didn't watch the one with James Gunn. I didn't watch that one. I do like how King Shark was. I'm glad to see that we finally had a movie where we introduced King Shark.
Yeah.
Okay. But, the older Suicide Squad 2, the only person that appealed to me was Diablo.
I liked him. He was one of my favorite characters, actually.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites, too, especially since he's basically an Aztec god.
Excuse me. Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I think it's pretty cool of the fact that Harley Quinn's in both.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I liked Diablo's backstory.
Yeah, so that I actually have a question for both of you.
What's up?
And it's about the upcoming DC movies.
Which one are we excited to see the most?
That and this one's for more of the anime Shogun. Black Adam. Dwayne Johnson, how do you feel about that?
That's a valid question, actually.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how that's done.
Mm-hmm.
I think Black Adam alone is gonna be fine. But that being said, too, like it's gonna be interesting to see who's all going to be in it, if that makes sense.
I know Dr.
Well-
Fate's supposed to be in it.
So Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I think that's going to be quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how I feel about Hawkman being in it, and whoever the Giant is supposed to be. I don't know if that's supposed to be Adam.
I think that's the Atom Smasher.
Yep, it is.
That?
Yeah. Everyone got all butthurt because the mask looked a lot like Deadpool's.
Which I could see.
Yeah.
But it's The Rock does a lot of movies. Too many
does.
movies.
He does.
Oh yeah, he does.
But-
Go ahead.
That's interesting. So I think The Rock's gonna be good. Like I said, it's gonna be. I like that. Dr. Fate is gonna be in it because I feel like those two do have like. And Global, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like those two are gonna have a lot more run-ins because I feel like they're in like the same kind of like mystic magic kind of era time frame. If that makes any sense.
Kind of, yeah. Dr. Fate has been around, I think, a lot longer.
Yeah, but they all come from the whole like it's like if you play DCU online.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, the meta, which is like Luthor and like Superman, like the aliens essentially, or like the Flash,
Mm-hmm.
the ones with the superpowers. Then you've got like Batman, the ones with the gadgets and the ones that are humans and everything. But then you've got like the magic where it's like Zatanna, Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
you know. So that's why I feel like Fate and Adam and eventually Shazam too,
Mm-hmm.
all are going to connect to each other with the whole fact that they all come from like the magic side of that, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited to see Shazam and Black Adam fight in a future movie if they're able to do that. That'd be really cool.
Oh, that would. Which actually, since you brought up Shazam, the next one is Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
Yes, I saw a trailer for it. It looked really good. There looks like he'll be facing some of the old gods.
One of them, Freddie Freeman.
He is I believe Freddie Freeman is a DC hero from DC's Golden Age, I believe. Because DC's Golden Age comics has a lot of crap.
Wasn't Freddy the guy, or the kid with the crutches that was right next to Billy Batson?
I believe his first name is Freddie. I don't believe it's Freddie Freeman.
I thought I heard them saying Freddie Freeman in the.
I don't.
We'll have to
remember.
revisit them.
Yeah.
We'll have to revisit it.
Yeah, we'll have to revisit it. But yeah, I'm really excited that.
Okay, and for right now, I'm not trying to keep asking questions. The last one I'm actually kind of interested about is Aquaman and the Last Kingdom because of the whole scandal.
From what I learned, her time has been cut down to like 10 minutes.
I heard that she was actually
Well, I've heard both,
Well-
where she's been cut out and cut down to like 10 minutes.
but it's also from what I've heard, Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne is actually gonna be making an appearance.
Yeah, I've heard a few of those. The movie I'm
What do-
excited for is Constantine 2.
And quiet. What about you, Anime Shogun? What do you feel about what we're talking.
I think I'm gonna have to go with I don't know. If I had to choose one, I'd probably have to agree with Global on Constantine too.
Okay. That's
But that being said, too, I'm interested to see how things gonna go. I'm interested to see if we're gonna get another Superman movie, if it's gonna be the same thing played over again, where it's this origin crap,
That's one thing
or
I think that's one thing that kind of irritates me with movies now is they always show an origin movie. If the hero's big enough, don't show the origin. Just don't. Most people already know it.
yeah. But you know, a lot of producers nowadays are trying to just do remastered movies that don't need to be remastered, you know.
Yeah.
I my time of talking and asking questions is up. Who's next?
I do know you had some questions about the comics, and from what I've learned and looked up, there has only been one Catwoman in the comics, and that has always been Selena Kyle. Elseworld Stories is a whole nother story. I do know, actually, a fun little tip. They actually use Jack Napier, the name, in one of the Elseworld comics called The White Knight.
Oh,
If you ever get a chance, read that one. That story is where the Joker goes sane and proceeds to take down Batman.
interesting.
Really fucking cool.
Okay. Anime Shogun, do you have any questions or anything?
okay, yeah, what's everybody's first comic?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I have to say, well, for DC, it was. I don't know
Well,
if it
yeah,
was
we're
Batman
talking
or.
about DC.
Well, saying because if it's like DC, I want to say Batman or Superman. I can't really remember.
To be honest,
Marvel was either Spider-Man or Hulk.
I actually, now that I think about it, I actually didn't read many comics as a kid, so I can't really recall my very first one.
Well,
Like,
okay, then for you, go with what's recent.
recent would be the actual, God, I'll have to figure out the name, but it was a Batman one where he's going against, I think it was Poison Ivy.
Okay.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
That would be the most recent one, and to be honest, like in my opinion, Poison Ivy is actually a great fucking villain.
I like a
In
lot
my
of
opinion.
Batman's rogues is because a lot of them are psychologically messed up, and that's their
Oh yeah.
shtick. But I have a question for all of you.
Hold on. What about you, Anime Shogun?
Thank you.
Sorry. I feel so
Jumping
bad
the gun
now.
there.
I feel so bad now.
You should. You really
Yeah.
should.
Yes, you should.
For me, the very first comic I ever read that I actually really enjoyed was The Killing Joke.
I have that. That's a really good one. That is really good.
That's my favorite comic to read. I love, I remember my first comic was the Batman one, but Batman, out of the Batman comics, my very first one that I got a hold of that I read was The Killing Joke, and that one was my favorite because that just showed to me truly how much I fell in love with the Joker.
Alan Moore is a really good writer. He's the same guy that wrote what's that movie and comic series that was made? I think Zack Snyder also made that movie.
That's a good title name.
It was like the Minutemen, Owlman, the Comedian.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. I'm drawing a blank on but he did that comic, and I loved how he left the ending of The Killing Joke open ended.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't know if he killed him or if it just faded out into. Fucking loved it.
But yeah, for me, it was The Killing Joke was my favorite comic.
All right.
Yeah. But my question is, since we got about 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes, If you guys could do a DC film, like you were the head of the project, what DC film would you want? What would you want to do?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Do you want to go first, EnimeShogun?
Sure, I'll tackle that.
I already
So
got mine.
I would probably go with like the untold stories that you're not seeing, that you're not hearing. Like almost every film does an origin story, or they go against well, like a big time villain.
So like small
Why
time
not?
heroes.
Not so much small time heroes, but like so how like in Batman Begins, you see like Batman going against Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, but you don't see him going against whatever races Raz's cult's called.
League of Shadows.
Thank you. You don't see much of like the battles with like the League of Shadows, or like we get introduced to Ra's al Ghul's daughter in the third one, but you don't see the story about how I would do like the smaller story of like him fighting like the League of Shadows, or I would even do like an introduction of where it's like Batman and I forgot her name, Talia al Ghul, where they're like teamed up, and it's like a little romance, because then you get the then you introduce Damian Wayne.
Yep.
So that's probably what I would do.
Okay.
Why don't you go next, Global?
Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton
You
as
son of a
Batman.
bitch.
Oh God, here we go.
But one thing I would want to do is make a nod towards the original voice actors of Batman Beyond. Will Friedle playing Terry McGinnis. I'm drawing a Kevin. Drawing a blank on his name. The guy who played Batman, who plays Batman, the voice of Batman now. Who is the voice of Batman?
It just occurred to me. Now, hear me out. How would you feel about Sam Witwer being a Terry McGinnis?
I think he's a little bit too old.
I feel like he's got the face, though.
He's got the face. Maybe if it was back in his Prison Break days. But now I think he's a little bit too old.
Okay.
But yeah, and I would want, since no one really, Batman Beyond isn't really that much of a known superhero, you can do it. You can get away with an origin story that not everyone knows about. Everyone knows Batman. Not everyone knows Batman Beyond. And it was such, you could introduce a whole new level of awesomeness and effects to a live action Batman Beyond movie.
Okay. Now let me ask this about your question, EnimeShogun. Do I need to pick the actor I would want as the main?
You meant Global's question, because I didn't ask that question.
I was about to say, I'm the one that asked the question. What the hell?
You know what?
You know what? Serves you right, Global.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bad boy.
Don't ever do that again. Anyways, do I need to pick the actor who would play the main?
You don't
I don't
have
think
to.
you need to worry about the actor. I think that's just us going in depth. I would just say give us like the plot of your, the story of what you would
just
do.
give us like a plot.
Well, it'd be kind of interesting for mine, because it wouldn't just be like it wouldn't be like a main one. What I mean is, like, I'd have at least two different villains going against Batman. So he wouldn't have to worry about one villain at a time. What I mean is, I'd probably put, let's see, the Joker with Poison Ivy.
It's not a combination you see every day, especially in the
that
comics.
unique, that unique kind of team up. That unspoken team up.
Yeah, it's a combination you really don't see every day. And I was about to say Joker's a bit overdone, but when he added a Poison Ivy, that's a combination that I don't see all the time. I mean,
Well, okay, so pretty much how it would go pretty much for me, is like Batman's pretty much facing off against the usual Joker or Poison Ivy, but then the other one basically just comes out of nowhere, hits Batman with, like, for Joker, the knockout gas.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Poison Ivy basically uses vines to trap Batman, and then he finds out they're working together, and then he's gonna have to find a way to just incapacitate one of them.
Yeah, he's talking kind of like what they've been doing in the animated series.
Okay.
But he gets help from an unexpected person, Deathstroke.
Oh, that would actually be kind of interesting. Deathstroke or Deadshot gets paid to, essentially help out.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So that's pretty much how my movie would go, is he'd have to basically do an unexpected team up with like Deathshot or Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
Deathshot.
Shut up.
Funny.
But basically,
Deathshot. What's your name? Deathshot. You mean Deadshot? No, I'm Deathshot.
shut up.
I inject you with death.
Oh my god, shut up.
Sounds like a
But-
Batman villain from Wish.
But pretty much just like that, the unexpected team up, and one that could actually either help save Gotham
Mhm.
or destroy Batman. So it's like you gotta figure out which way you want to go with it, you know?
Yeah. I think
That's
another...
pretty much.
Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
on. No, I interrupted
No.
you. Go on.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
I also think another movie would be cool is to explore more Jason Todd. Because you don't see a lot of
That or
Jason Todd.
Nightwing.
Yeah, no, Nightwing would be interesting to kind of discover, introduce. Maybe some Tim Drake later on, but Jason Todd with Death in the Family style movie, I think would be amazing, because you get to see how broken Batman can be when you let the Joker run wild and you give him the amount of everything that he needs to succeed. By the way, my favorite moment with the Joker in the comics would have to be when he punched Red Skull. That is an actual thing that happened.
I got a question for you to end our thing on.
Go on.
Instead of using, like the Joker or like, the number one best villain, who would you guys be? Like, who would be your favorite villain? Like, you can't use like the one that everybody uses, like the Joker, or like when Catwoman was stealing and stuff, because she's kind of like the villain anti-hero, depending
She's
on
an
what
anti-hero.
movie you're looking at.
Clayface.
Depending on what you're looking at.
Clayface, hands down. I've always loved Clayface.
Why don't you go next, AnimeShogun? Because I'm still thinking on that one.
I would probably have to go with Bane. Bane would be my number one, but if I couldn't go with Bane, I would go with Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy's really good.
I like those. For me, it would have to be Two-Face.
Two-Face is really
Reason-
good.
Reason is because just like most of the time because most of his decisions come from flipping a coin.
Yeah.
And the fact that sometimes he cheats just to basically do the damage he wants
Yeah.
actually makes him one of my like top 3 favorite villains.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna kind of go off of Anime Shogun's question here. Who are your top 3 least favorite villains?
I don't know if
Superman's...
we're gonna have time for top 3, but
Top least favorite villain then.
I'd have to say Superman's Toymaker.
Okay.
least favorite, Grodd.
Why Grodd?
No, yeah, Grodd. Grodd would be my least favorite.
And may I ask why those options?
Anime Shogun, you can go first since we've been talking a lot more.
I don't feel like there's much special about Grodd. You know, it's basically like, okay, this meteorite came down. You're like, look at his origin story. A meteorite came down and it gave him special powers. He's just a psychic gorilla, essentially.
True.
Like, I feel like they did better with Humanite compared to Grodd.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Global? And then I'll go less, and then we'll end up finishing up the podcast.
Yep. Toy Maker, I've never really liked how they done it. You know, he's just a psychotic toy guy that just blows stuff up. You could you could do a whole lot better if you just sort of reinvent him a little bit. Maybe reinvent his backstory of why he does what he does, rather than just be, I'm a psychotic toy maker that wants to blow shit up. I don't know much of his backstory. He just never really spoke to me. This is a decent supervillain. Hell, I've always liked Scarface better than him. Scarface is a Batman villain that's a puppet, by the way.
Okay. Well, I know this is gonna make a lot of people upset for my choice, but Lex Luthor.
Why?
Those are fucking fighting words. Yeah, you're right. You're gonna piss the people off. You're already pissing me off. Those are some fucking fighting words right there.
Okay. Let me explain why. For Lex Luthor, he's just like in my opinion, a villain Batman. Alright? He builds all these creations and everything to try to destroy Superman. And it's just, there's not, like, I really didn't get his backstory at all, okay? And people are going to try to explain it to me, but I couldn't get behind Lex Luthor at all.
Fun fact about Lex Luthor: before he was a '80s corporate billionaire dude, he was a mad scientist that had hair.
Huh, interesting. But yeah,
Yep.
like he just seems like a villain Batman to me, and that just threw me no.
Yeah, I can kind
Alright.
of I can kind of see that. One last fact before we finish off this podcast: Batman originally had guns in the first couple comics before they took him out because of his origin story. And also, we have the Joker today thanks to an editor because he liked it. Yep. Nice little facts to end the podcast, I think.
I would say so. All right. Go ahead, take us out.
I am Global Outcast. That has been the Anime Shogun. That has been Lycan. If you like us, subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, follow us, any other places we have it on. We just got a Discord up. I will try to have the Discord in the Discord link in the down below or wherever we have it in the info stuff. Come join us where we talk about nerd stuff, have a good time, chill, relax, do whatever. This has been Everyday Nerds. Peace.
Later.